Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to learn how to make this simple, nice, free, everyday Pinafore A-line dress, stay tuned and I'll show you how I made it. Okay guys, so I'll show you what we'll be needing for the Pinafore. So of course, as usual, you need your measurement tape. We are going to be using this lovely African print. You need the scissors, a ruler, and of course a measurement. So I'm going to be telling you the measurement as we go along. One thing I forgot is your chalk. You need a chalk. So I'm just going to get a chalk from my machine drawer. I forgot to bring the chalk. Okay, so you need a chalk. Okay, so first thing first, I'm going to remove the label. I have a video on how to remove the label, but anyhow, you just watch what I'm doing. So you need your iron. You need your iron to be on and to be hot. So I got a hot iron here. So you use a hot iron to remove the sticker. Just make sure the iron is very hot. You can see how easily it peels off. So it's a Pinafore we are making today. Okay, it's a simple style that you can make for yourself, you can make for your kids, but I'm making an adult one. Okay, so I'm just going to open the fabric out. Take this one out. Okay, so this is beautiful African print. So if you want to order some African print, I got some on my website. My website link will be on top of the video. You can buy some from us. We also have jewelries, bags, purse, some beautiful fashion accessories on my website. And also don't forget to check out my new channel. I got a new channel for vlogging. It's called Sophia's Fab. I know the name of this my channel is saying Sophia's Fab, but I have a video explaining why. So I got another channel called Sophia's Fab. So it's Sophia, S-O-P-H-I-A, apostrophe S, then Fab. And you will see my picture on it, so you will differentiate it. You'll be able to know the difference. So please guys, go and support me there as well. Subscribe. I have daily, where I post video there every 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So it's vlogging, got to do with what I do at home, not sewing tutorials. It's just vlogging my everyday life. Yeah, so you can check it out. So please support me. I'll leave the channel details in the bottom of this video, so you can check it out. Okay guys, so I'm going to open the fabric out. You see how beautiful this fabric is. Very beautiful fabric. Very pretty, very pretty. I love the fabric. So it's just a Pinafore. There's no zip. There's no zip, there's no button. The neck is quite wide. You're going to have quite a wide neck. So the length of the Pinafore, the length is 38. So the measurement you need are the length. You need the length, you need the bust measurement, the waist measurement, and the hip measurement. So those are the measurements you need. I'm going to be using the other side of the fabric. I don't like the part that got the glue section. when you want to sew it, it becomes difficult to sew. So I'll open it out. I'll take the side I need. I'll take the amount of fabric I need, and then I'll fold the rest back. You see how very colorful and pretty it is? And it's summer in UK now, so everybody's wearing African print. It's very comfortable to wear because it's 100% cotton, so it's very comfortable to wear. You can wear it all year round, not just for summer only. So I'm just going to take the back and front out of it. So yeah, so I take the back and front out of it. I'm hoping this will be enough. I'm thinking it's even a bit too much. So what I'm doing is I want to fold the fabric with the hip measurement because I want the pinafore to have a bit of movement, to have space. I don't want it to be tightened, to be like too tight. I want it to be free on the body to wear. So this is back and front, I'm trying to fold together. So like here is front, here is back. So I'm just trying to fold them together before I cut the excess fabric away. But I need to be sure that it's correct. So I'm going to actually fold it, cut it out, and I'll come back. Okay guys, I'm back. I went to just cut the fabric out. I think it's quicker that way. Yeah, so I've cut it out. So this is the amount of fabric I will be using. As you can see, lay it on the table. I just do a quick ironing on it because I want to show you guys where I sew it as well. So I try to make the video not to be too long. Okay, so now the fabric is folded into 4 because it's back and front that is here. So I have used the hip measurement, which is 58. Where my hip is not up to 58. It is for myself. My hip is not up to 58. I just want some room allowance. I just want some space. So I'm going to be using like 58. So I use 58, which is 14.5. 14.5, yes. Divided by 4. 58 divided by 4, 14.5. I just want the pinafore to be free and easy to wear. So that's why I've given myself a lot of space. And so I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches extra to the fabric because it's going to be in the form of an A-line pinafore. So that's what I'm going to be making. I want it to be free. I don't want it to be tightening or squeezing any part of my body. So anyway, now I fold the fabric into 4. That's back and front. So I folded it into 4 because, you know, in tailoring, you have to divide most things by 4, unless you are sewing 6 pieces, 8 pieces, 10 pieces, 9 pieces. But in normal situation like this, you only just divide your bust by 4, your hip by 4, your waist by 4. That's what you just do. So in this case, apart from your shoulder, of course, your shoulder is by 2. So I'm going to mark down my measurement here, all the way down. So start with my length of my pinafore. It's 38 plus 1.5 inches sewing allowance. The hem for hem, that's 39.5 plus half an inches to sew it on the shoulder. That's 40. So you need 40 all the way down. So in this case, normally I like to put 1 inches guideline. So let me put the 1 inches guideline. I think it's always quick and safer that way. So 1 inches guideline first before you mark the length of your dress or the length of your pinafore. In this case, it's mine. This is mine, so I'm making it for myself. So this is just my 1 inch guideline. Okay, so from this guideline here, I'll now mark 40, which is the length of the pinafore plus sewing allowance. So this is 40 here. You can make yours much longer. I just don't want mine to be long. So I'll mark 40 all the way down. From one end to the other end here, mark 40. So I'll take my ruler and draw a straight line. So this pinafore, just as I said before, it has no button, no zip. So, but the neck is going to be wide. The back and front neck is the same thing. So there's no difference. Because I need it to be wide enough so it can easily fit. So my shoulder is 17. 17 divided into 2. Divide 17 into 2. It gives you 8.5. So you mark 8.5 down here. So the neck of this pinafore, I'm going to be using 4. I'm thinking of using, because I want the neck to be quite wide. So I think I'm going to use 4.5 inches for the wideness of the neck. And for the dropness of the neck, I'm going to be using 8. Because I'm going to be wearing a t-shirt like what I'm wearing now underneath it. So the wideness I have used 4.5. So by the time I finish sewing it will be like 5 because I will sew 1/2 inches. So and then the dropness I'm using 8 for the dropness. Okay. So I just take my ruler. I use the curved part of my ruler to draw the round. It's like a U neck. So the neck is going to look like as if it's a U neck or round neck, whichever you call it. So do you see what I'm doing here? Okay, I hope my camera is not too far and you can see what I'm doing. So yeah, so that's I've cut the neck out, I've drawn the neck. So here is my shoulder. So you just mark that your shoulder slant 1 inch down from your shoulder point, 1 inch down. That will give you your shoulder slope. So that's the shoulder slope. I really hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't know if I should bring the camera forward. Let me bring the camera forward, guys. Just 1 second. I want you guys to see what I'm doing. It's a simple pinafore. So let's move the camera forward a bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'll bring the camera down a bit as well. Sorry for the shaking camera. I just want you guys to really see what I'm doing. Okay, I hope you guys can see like this. Okay, so this is the neck. I move it a bit because I'm working on this side to this side. Okay, so this is the neck here, which I've drawn the U neck. Don't forget this fabric is folded into 4. Okay, so and it's back and front. I'm cutting at the same time. So now I'm going to mark my my chest line. My chest line is 10. I take my ruler and draw a straight line to meet the 10. That's from the top of your shoulder here, not from the shoulder slope, from the top of your shoulder. So by the time you remove the 1 inch from the shoulder of the shoulder slope, when you remove the 1 inch of the shoulder slope, it will be 9. So I'm just drawing a straight line across to the other side. So this is my chest line here. So this shock mark here today is my chest line. Remember, there's no zip, no button. So there's no zip and allowance or whatever. So anyway, and now I'm going to mark. Okay, so I didn't tell you need your shoulder to your waistline. This is just so you know where the waistline is. So shoulder to waistline for mine is 19. I'm just going to draw a straight line, not so much straight line, just a bit. And then of course you also need to measure your shoulder to your hip, so you know where, so you know where. You see, like what I'm doing, I know I'm not showing myself full, because if I do that, I can't see what, you won't be able to see what I'm cutting. So just measure your shoulder to your hip line. In my case, it's 29. So you measure your shoulder to your hip line, you mark it down. This is just so you know where your hip line is. You can come up a bit. Let's say, I know mine is 29, but I'm going to start it from 27. So I start the hip line from 27. So that's shoulder to hip line, where your hip is. I came up by 2 inches. I just decided to start it by 2 inches or up. Came also 27. So this is your chest line, which is also your bust line. Of course, you can measure your bust point. If you measure your bust point, my bust point starts from between 12 and a half, 13, but I'll mark it 13. This is just so you know where your bust starts. It's not for anything special, just so you know where it starts. So I just put all the measurement down. So chest line, bust point, waist, hip. Okay, so now I'll put all the measurement down. So my bust is 49, but I don't want anything to tight me. So instead of using 49, I'm going to use 50. So 50 divided by 4. You just take your measurement tape if you don't have a calculator like me. But I do have a calculator here. So I'm going to use a calculator. So 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. So I mark 12.5 down. I mark it here on the chest line and also mark it on the bust line, bust point line as well. Okay, don't forget I haven't had any sewing allowance. So now my waist measurement, I wrote it down somewhere, is 48 divided by 4 is 12. I don't really like anything to be tightening me so much, so, and it's a pinafore and I'm going to wear a t-shirt underneath. So I'm not going to be using 48, I'm going to use 49. So divided by 4. So that's 12.25. It's practically almost like 12 and a half, really. So it's almost the same thing. So my hip, as I said, I don't want anything to be tightening me. My hip is 54, but I'm making it 58. So 58 divided by 4, 14.5. So 14.5 is here. So because it's an A line, I've already marked all the measurement done. But because it's an A line, what I'm going to do, from the waist here, I'm going to draw an A line shape. So this measurement here might not be too necessary because it's an A line, but anyway, I think it's necessary actually. So I'm going to put sewing allowance. So the A line shape, I will start the A line shape from the waist. So of course all your measurements are necessary, don't mind me. So I'm going to be putting 2 inches allowance on the bust, and I'm also going to be putting 2 inches allowance on the waist, and I'm going to also be putting on the hip, I'm going to be putting 2.5 inches allowance. So from here I just connect and go that way, A line. I hope you guys know what A line shape is. So I'm just going to be drawing the A line shape. I will start it from the waist. So let me connect the bust and the waist. Then from here I draw an A line shape. I just use my ruler to draw an A line shape. I hope you guys can really see it. Let me move it up so that you can see it properly. Can you see the shape there? Okay, I hope you can see it. Trying to see if the camera can capture it. Okay, so I've drawn the A-line shape, but here our body is not pointy, so I'm going to just use the ruler to make the to make this place really round and curvy. Okay, just take a ruler and make it smooth. Yes, you can freehand it if you know how to freehand it properly. So yeah, so that's the shape. So now for the armhole, you just measure the remaining after your shoulder slope 1 inch off. Mine is remaining 9. So half of 9 is 4.5. So this is the 4.5 here. From there I connect to the seam allowance. So yeah, I just connect it. If you have your hip curve, your curve ruler, you can use that. I'm just using this ruler. And you can freehand it to meet the normal. You can freehand it if you want to. Okay guys, so that's all there is to it. So I just cut it out. Cut it out. So as I said earlier on, it's a A-line pinafore. You can see the shape looks pretty. So at the bottom here, so you can give it a bit of a round shape. You can give it a bit of a round shape there if you want, instead of pointing. So what I do is I come up here by 1 inch. From this point here, I just come off. I don't know if you can see it. Let me move it so you can see. Okay. So from this point here, I come up by 1 inch. I put the measurement tape there, and I come up by 1 inch. So that's the 1 inch there. You can either freehand it or use your ruler to create the curve. So from here, I curve it to meet the 1 inch, just to make it have a nice curve. Can you see that? Okay, so I cut it out. So now I'm going to cut the neck. The neck and the shoulder. Remember, the back and front neck is the same thing. It's a pinafore, so I don't need any fancy food pen in the back. So simple, straight, something you can cut and sew at home by yourself, and you can wear it any time of the day. Okay, so I finished cutting it now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you guys. Let me open it so that you can see. See, it's big. I'm a big person. I have body, so I don't want it to be tight in me. I want it to be free in my body. So that's why I put a lot of allowance. But if you want yours fitting, just your hip measurement, probably just add maybe like 5 inches or 4 inches to your hip measurement, so you know the amount of fabric to cut off to use. And then of course you don't need to add so much allowance to your waist or your hip and your bust, because I want it to be free in my body. That's why I added so much allowance. So yes guys, so that's it. That's the back and the front together. So I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine. I'll show you how I sew it. You can use bias for the neck. It's sleeveless, it doesn't have a sleeve, so you use bias for the neck and for the armhole. Okay guys, I'll show you how I sew it now. Okay everyone, so I'm going to show you quickly how I've done with the armhole. So this is the armhole. You can see I've already sewn one side of the bias to the front side. So now I'll flip it to the other side like this, and then I'll stitch it down. So you can just see, just flip it down and sew. So this is the armhole. Okay guys, so I've done the neck. This is the back of the neck, this is the front, and the armhole section. There's the front, there's the back. So now I'm going to join both the front and back. I'll join them at the shoulder point first. I'm going to join them on the shoulder. Like so. So I join them on the shoulder. I use 1 inch, half an inch, not 1 inch, half an inch seam allowance to join the two of them back and front together, just like so. Okay, so I'll do the same to the other side as well. Join them together. Okay, you can overlock it. If you have an overlocker, you can go ahead and overlock everywhere. So now I'm going to join the sides together. So I'm going to join the sides together. I'm going to use 1 inch. Remember I added 2 inches on the bust, and I added 2 inches on the waist, and then I added 2.5 inches to the hip, but I'm not going to sew it off because I said I want it to be free in my body. So I'm only going to sew 1 inches all the way. So I'm just going to sew both sides together, just like so. If you want yours to be fitting, don't cut it too big. Just add 1 inch to whatever your bust, like your bust divided by 4, plus 1 inch sewing allowance if you don't want it to be too big. But don't forget the A-line shape. I'll do the same to the other side, 1 inch to the other side. One inch as well. You can measure it, or if you already know what 1 inch is, you don't need to measure it. You can measure it if you want. But if you know what 1 inch is already, you don't need to measure it. Just gauge it, eyeball it. When I finish sewing it, if I feel it's too big, I can always come back and sew 1/2 inch off to have a bit more shape if I feel it's too big. Okay, so what's remaining now is just to hem it. Of course, you can overlock it if you want. You can overlock it. So all I'm going to do now is to hem the bottom all the way around I hem it all the way around. So I hem it all the way around, and I'll show you how it looks like when it's done. Okay guys, so that's the simple A-line Pinafore.